considering investing to actually investing because people were like, you know, well, maybe this does still need to be told. Because I think a lot of people, a lot of the events of this period, obviously, it's been 25, 30 years. So I think for a lot of them, you know, people are thinking maybe people have moved on, but then you realize that no, a lot of people haven't moved on. This stuff still resonates with a lot of people, and it is an important story to get out there, I think. So, so any opposition we ever had kind of always worked in our favor, actually, in making the movie. Can I ask how you guys heard about the film? How did you hear about the, you know, or even the Q&A, and how did people hear? Was it through advertisement, or was it through word of mouth, or?
Word of mouth.
Facebook.
We love Facebook.
2 more questions?
2 more questions? Yes?
What else can we do as viewers or people who maybe just want to get more either politically active or just active in Asian American film? What would you suggest that we can do to help?
You're looking at me. I'll answer the acting question.
You know, I really think that every piece of activism or whatever is, you first you have to get yourself out there first. You know, you have to be willing to get out there and to organize and to work with others and, you know, to get your message spread. I mean, I had this idea 5 years ago. This was an idea in my head. And one thing I realized very quickly was that I couldn't do this by myself. It was going to be too large of an undertaking. And I reached out to everybody that I thought, you know, whether it was writing, directing, you know, everything, I kind of put it out there, and I knew I couldn't fund this by myself. So I think so much of it is just, you know, literally the reach out, and nowadays it's so easy with Facebook and with Twitter and with blogging and everything. It's very easy to kind of get the word out there. And particularly with regards to Asian American in film, I mean, one of the major reasons I did this was because, as I said at the beginning, I was just tired of auditioning for Chinese waiter number 2, you know, which sadly is what most of the roles are for Asian Americans. And I looked at people who I really admired, people who had written their way into the film business, whether it was Matt Damon and Ben Affleck with Good Will Hunting, or Billy Bob Thornton with Sling Blade, or Jon Favreau with Swingers. Any of those guys, I looked at them and I'm like, they really created their own way in, and I thought that that's really important, you know, and I think it also helps to have the support, you know. I think I try to support as many Asian American artists as I can, and you know, obviously we appreciate all the support we've been getting for this.
Okay, last question.
Last question.
Go ahead.
Could you talk a little bit about the production? How long was it? And it was shot in Thailand, right? So how was it like? And also it's a period drama. So how did you manage to do this and then shot it in Thailand?
Yeah, we shot for 2 weeks in Chicago, and then we shot for 5 weeks in Bangkok. And it was explained to me that the reason we shot in Thailand was that Bangkok and the surrounding areas look more like Taipei now than Taipei does now. Does that make sense?
No. More like Taipei in 1983.
1980s.
In the 1980s.
Than Taipei does now. It's been developed and no longer looks the same. And as far as what it was like, I think just being in a foreign country, I mean, from my perspective, my character is in a place where he doesn't speak the language, and sticks out a little bit. And so I think it really it helped to actually be in that position while we were filming. But it was a great crew. And again, like I said, just kind of the driving force behind this was everybody feeling like we're telling a story that hadn't been told before and needed to be told. And when you set out with those kinds of intentions, things tend to roll your way, I feel like. So there were a lot of very happy accidents on this film, things that just kind of worked out perfectly in terms of the shooting of it.
Speaking of being a fish out of water, one of my favorite memories of shooting was when we were in the crowd scene, in the riot scene. And I think most Thai people are about 5'5", 5'4", and James is like 6'1". So he was just kind of towering over everybody. That was kind of fun. But yeah, as he said, we shot for 2 weeks in Chicago and then 5 weeks in Bangkok. And as he said, it was easier for us to redress the outskirts of Bangkok and make that look more like 1980s Taiwan than Taiwan does now because of all the modernization that has happened. And the Thai crews are great. You know, they're very, very. They were shooting 2 other movies there, I think, while we were there: Bangkok Dangerous and Street Fighter. So there was another movie called Shanghai that was prepping. So they shoot a lot of movies in Thailand. Unfortunately, Taiwan's film industry isn't really as strong as we would have hoped. We were told that we'd have to bring in our cameras and our lights from Hong Kong or from Australia or from Japan, which would have doubled or tripled our cost. And we're still a small independent film, so that would have been cost prohibitive for us. So, but it was great to shoot on location. I think that like James said, it really added to the atmosphere of it and really gave it, you know, kind of certain kind of validity.
Okay.
We'll take. Do you want to take one? We'll take one more question. Yes.
Would they have even let you into Taiwan to shoot?
So the question was, would they even have let us into Taiwan to shoot?
Is there any sort of, I don't know, permission that you have to get?
Yes, there is. You have to get permission for locations. You have to get permissions for all sorts of things, and that's regardless of wherever you shoot, whether it's in the United States or anywhere. So we did scout a lot of places in Taiwan, and that was also a concern for us. Though we were concerned if we ran into any problems when we were trying to get approvals for certain things. We were afraid, you know, if we were stopped, that could hurt us as well.
But do you have to send? I'm sorry. Do you have to send you a script for like approval and stuff like that? You know.
We never did that because we didn't get that far with the process. Once we realized all the limitations of shooting in Taiwan, we never went through the full process of trying to submit it to the GIO, the Government Information Office.
So it's possible you might have to do that. You know, you just haven't gone to that process yet.
If we are to show the film in Taiwan, we will have to do that, yes. We will have to submit the film to the Government Information Office, which is an agency of the government.
Did you get approval for that?
You're going to have to ask the Taiwanese government that question.
Well,
All right, our publicist is saying we're running out of time, so thank you all so much for coming. One last word, if you know, we don't have a big advertising budget, you're not going to see billboards or big trailers on TV for this, so we have postcards out here. If you can please tell your friends, word of mouth for us is really key, so thank you so much.